The day that I had my surgery of my radius and ulnar bones, mm, that was a long day. Of course, that morning I was out of it. I mean, I slept through the night with fully broken forearm, and going into surgery, I didn't know what to expect. I just knew that I was going into the operation room broken and I was supposed to come out fixed. And by the time I came out of that 5 hour surgery, it was the beginning to a recovery that I may not have been prepared for, but a recovery that I came out on the other side stronger and better. Now, moving on, got another episode of Uncontainable by me, Lou Hutchinson, featuring my sister, the one and only Naya Hutchinson. Man, okay. Welcome to Uncontainable by Lou Hutchinson, where we go and we talk about the pain behind the passion and the triumph that comes from that. Today, I'm here with the one and only Naya Hutchinson, my big sister,
Hello.
big role model in my life in so many different ways.
Oh,
And if you ask my dad, she is the best athlete in the family.
you know,
I don't know if I can agree with that, but
whatever.
Naya, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Excited to be here. I'm like, this is just wow.
It's surreal, ain't
This
it?
is very surreal.
Okay, so start it off, right? Let's just, like I said, my sister, let's go into you and go into just who you are and
Okay.
who you were as an athlete.
Okay. Who am I? I am Little Lou's older sister. First of all, I'm not little. 6'6", 6'7", so definitely not little, but I'm Naya. Um, Sheesh, where do I even start? I think that's like my biggest accomplishment is being your older sister, first of all, honestly.
I'm touched.
Like, to know me is to know that this one is my absolute heart. Um, and yeah, so I guess I would start with that. Um, and just go into like what I'm doing now. So, and who I was as an athlete. So I started out dancing when I was 3 years old, and have been dancing ever since. I stopped around 22, 23 when I graduated from the ALE school. So I spent my life dancing a lot, 20 plus hours a week for, I mean, ever, what it seems like. And, throughout that, I experienced literally all that you can experience as an athlete, going to school as an athlete, um, getting injured as an athlete, obviously, and all of those things. And now I have beautifully transitioned into modeling, which my friends and my family have asked me why I haven't done that for years. And so I finally just bit the bullet and tried it, and now I love it. It's something that I'm taking dance with me into my next life. Like, it's how I'm taking dance with me into my next chapter, I guess. Um, and I also work in influencer marketing, which is really fun. I get to work with brands and influencers all day, and be really creative in doing that and be really strategic in doing that. And so, yeah, I'm really loving my kind of double life that I'm living, where some days I'm on set modeling and moving my body and being expressive behind the camera. And then other days I'm sitting at my desk negotiating very hard to try to get the best outcome for the brand that I work for.
That's awesome.
So
And
that's
may
what I
I
do.
just say, for anybody who might have a certain stigma, right? She, for me, is what made me realize and see that whether you consider it a sport or performing art, dancers are some of the most impressive athletes.
Thank
Like,
you. Say that for the people in the back, really,
so
because
I mean, you
it
might have
really
a
is
show where you
hard.
have to go and you're on the stage dancing for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
Right.
go back, quick change into a whole different outfit, and then got to come back out a minute and a half later just for a
Yeah.
whole new number.
That was like my full life from ever since I joined Spirit Wings
Hmm.
to when I left Ailey, truly. And I think the thing with dance that, I mean, people obviously, I think the stigma comes from you're supposed to make it look easy, right? You're supposed to make it look effortless. And it's not easy or effortless. It takes so many years of training and work and blood, sweat, and tears that people obviously don't see.
Hmm.
They only see the performance. I think that even, in like games, basketball games, football games, it's like you're seeing stuff on the sidelines, like you're seeing the visceral things that are happening. And when it comes to performing art, you know, once we're done with our part of the dance, we go off stage, like you said, quick
Hmm.
change. If I need to like dry heave, I'm doing that backstage. I'm not doing that on stage. So it's meant to make it look effortless and pretty, but
Right.
it is a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I mean, well, you said it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So going back all the way to even back to, Spirit Wings and all of that, even all the way through your whole journey, what did dance mean to you?
Wow, that's a big question.
Hmm.
Um, and I think I'll describe kind of like my journey in we have like saying Spirit Wings. People don't know what that is. It was my first dance company that I joined, liturgical dance company. And I think I was a kid that liked to move. My parents always said I'd dance at the fireplace, which is why they even put me in. I started in doing rec dance, doing
Hmm.
ballet.
At Bowie Community Center, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I started doing that. And just to like fully answer your question before going into the history, like when I look back at my younger self and the passion that I had and the passion I still have just for maybe other things in life, I feel like dance is like breath. It's like life to me. And even though I don't do it anymore, I still see it as that because it's like I started so young doing it, and it's not only the movement. Yes, the movement is a language that you learn and pick up and train throughout the years, and so it's literally a second language, like the back of your hand. But also, it creates such a large community. I feel like it's a really good interpretation of like what community is, which is what life is, to be honest. Like, to me, you can't have life without community. We're not
Right.
meant to do things on our own. And so I feel like it's just a really good representation of like what community is, what acceptance is, what vulnerability is. You can experience so many things
Hmm.
as a dancer, which is why I feel like it's so hard to like let go for a lot of people too. And I mean, that's in any sport, you do it for so long, but there's just a certain like energy that you feel when you're dancing or when you're collaborating with other people that I feel like is life. So I feel like I could describe dance as that. It sounds kind of dramatic, but that's what I would say it is. And the more people that, look into dance that aren't dancers, I feel like even when you're watching like on stage, like
Hmm.
maybe let's say like you coming to my performances,
Right.
you would probably experience a lot of things or feelings or just see things that you would have never seen had I not been your sister and had I not been dancing. So, yeah, that's what I feel like dance is to me. And like I said, when I think about little Naya and how hard I tried and how much I trained to get to the point that I got to and that I'm at right now. I still like to like continue that, you know, hasn't ended technically. Um, it's oh, what's a good word to describe it? It's like,
Exhilarating.
yeah, it is really exhilarating to know that you had so much passion, you know, for something that there's just life there. I think that throughout time, you know, as you become an adult, you go through hard times and things like that.
Mhm.
Looking back at a lot of people look back at their like younger child or whatever, but looking back at just that community that can be built from something that's so small, from me literally going like this, or for me literally going like this, you know, is really powerful. So sorry, that
Wow.
was kind of a long-winded
I mean, no,
answer.
that's what we're here for. I want the whole 9 yards. I
Yeah.
want your whole thought process and everything.
Yeah.
So
So that to answer your question, that is what dance is to me.
mm, that's powerful.
Thanks.
That's really powerful. So going on and dance, I know I've seen it. Of course, our parents would say it, but then just going on, having seen or heard from other people, right? It was very clear that you stood out.
Oh,
And
thank
for
you.
me, right, I think the performance that I saw you in that stood out to me the most, right? You're at
Mhm.
Bullis.
You
You're
never told me this.
you're um I believe was it your senior performance
Are you talking about what I think you're talking about?
when you had rolled your ankle really
Yeah.
bad? So yeah, you rolled your ankle really bad.
Well, I'll tell that
You
story.
were, you know, on crutches and all of that. What's going through your head before you go on to that stage? Because
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you had an ankle the size of what, a tennis ball on each side. So what I'm trying to figure out
It
was,
wasn't that big by the time. So
I mean, you were on crutches.
yeah, to put into context, I dance both in school and out of school in high school because that was like my sport. At my school, we're required to do like an
Mhm.
after school sport, something. I always did dance, obviously. And then I would do it, you know, at my studio. My senior year, I was dance captain, woo woo, and we were preparing for a performance, and I remember we had this long hallway that was like basically almost like a in a way kind of a backstage. So we would have the stage and then, you know, the kind of backstage on both sides, and then right behind it were these doors that led into this long hallway. So if we needed to switch sides like of the stage, then we would go through that hallway and go to the next side. And I remember we had a green room. That's also where the dance studio was and stuff like that. But we had a green room. I was walking out of the green room and a girl was running. I don't know if she was trying to run to, you know, get to her next dance or, you
Mhm.
know, whatever her next point of the dance. But she literally was running so fast. And right as she was coming, or right as I was coming out of the door, she ran into me in my, yeah. And
So
so I I don't even remember what I thought in that moment. Probably things that I shouldn't say out loud, but but you know, it wasn't great.
mhm.
And quite frankly, I knew being dance captain, I was in charge of a lot of things. I was in a lot of dances that I didn't have a what people call an understudy. I didn't
Right.
have that. And so I was like, I need to not, I actually don't think, I might have not told mom and dad for maybe a day or something, day
You
or
have a
two.
tendency of doing that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that later.
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna get
just
into
tried to
that later.
keep, I was like, you know what? And then it got to the point where I was like, all right, like having some trouble walking, like it's definitely that bad. And also I did have like a, you know, uh, um, it was swollen, I'll say. And so eventually I think mom and dad took me to the doctor. I don't even remember like what that even entailed, but they took me to the doctor and put me on crutches. It was like a third degree ankle sprain. And it sucked because I'm like, I were preparing for this huge performance. Mind you, this is like my senior performance at the school. Like, this is my last, I think this was my last
Uh-huh.
performance at the school, which is like, it comes with its own emotions anyway. So the fact that I was literally crutching around like at school, and well, this was a huge campus. Like, as you know, it's a pretty big campus. So I'm over here crutching around at school, like just
Trying to get through.
trying to get through. I will
Right.
never forget. There was so I had a class. I took AP Psych, and it was in our gym, which we had a like shuttle bus that would take us there because it was in the gym, which was a long walk. And I will never forget one morning. I was like getting about to go on the bus to go to my AP Psych class, and the bus
Mhm.
left me with me and my crutches. So I had to crutch up to the class. It was just a mess. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm over here struggling, trying to just get through, and also like trying to be a good dance captain, like trying to make the most of my last preparing for our last performance. And so yeah, it was kind of rough. And, um, I will never forget. I got into one of the biggest fights with mom and dad about this. Literally, it was very dramatic. The day of the performance, I obviously was not 100% at
Right.
all. They were like, "You're not performing." And I was like, "No." Obsessed with those oh my god, what naked smoothies, you know
Mhm.
those? And I remember like threw my naked smoothie down and I was like, "No, I have to perform. Like this is not what you're gonna do to me right now." Because literally like there was nobody else that could do my parts. Like
Right.
and I was in like 8 dances. It was a big performance. I mean, even if it was one dance, I would have said the same thing. But like it quite literally, like I had to perform. Like I was like, there's literally no other option.
Right.
Like literally. And so yeah, we got in a little tiff about it, whatever. And then they drove me to school so I could start preparing for the dance. And then like, you know, obviously everyone knew that I was like pretty injured. So
Mhm.
there was someone that would like when I would get off stage, it would help me and stuff like that. And I remember even warming up, like I bought my crutches to the performance
Mhm.
because I was not 100%. And I was like, all right, stretching, doing what I got. I'll never forget one of the dances that I was doing. Literally, I get off stage and I'm like, not even walking. Like, I get off stage and I'm like crawling to the dressing room to like get to the next, to change my outfit and get to the next piece. And there's like someone that has a water and they're like, okay, Naya, like, what do you need? Like, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. I was like, I'm fine. I just need to rest for a second and then I'll be fine. I just don't need to, because obviously, like, I was really, I mean, doing
Mhm.
8 dances on that, I should have been doing nothing on it. And so I was really exacerbating it. But overall, it was fine. I'm very proud of that moment. And I crutched out of the performance literally, and I finished the whole thing, by the way. I didn't crutch out like after like mid performance. No, I finished the whole performance.
Mhm.
Now, I just want to say to the public, I'm not saying you should do this. We're gonna learn from me that I tend to dancer injuries, but yeah, I crutched out of the performance when it was done, and
Mhm.
everyone was like, "What the heck happened?" And I was like, "Well, I my ankle was sprained through the whole thing, but I just had to do this, and now I'm done, and now I can rest."
Right. So that first off, you're insane. But
Just a little bit.
going on like from going through that whole thing because I mean you're going through dances. You're having to make certain facial expressions for certain dances,
Mhm.
smile, look sad, look serious, right? All of this while fighting pain.
Yeah.
What's going through your head mentally, even from preparation all the way through finishing the dance? Because I mean, I know that's a battle. I mean, it must have been a battle getting left by your bus and going up to your psych class,
Mhm.
right? Which is what's so daunting as an athlete going through an injury,
Yeah,
right?
and the mental part, obviously,
Because you
and
can go and it's like you're doing these things every day and it's almost like you feel invincible, right?
yeah.
And
When you're
then
an athlete, you feel like you're freaking Superman.
like you can do like you can see
Because you
somebody
are
from another sport
Superman.
doing something
Yeah.
and you're like, I could do that.
Right. And
No,
like
and then
literally
finding out you can't do that.
dancers quite literally do the most inhuman humane, things with their bodies. Like we
Mhm.
do exactly what you're basically not supposed to do with your body.
Right.
So I think what was going through my mind was there was a lot of things where it was like, I just have to do it. I had adrenaline, which helped with the
Mhm.
pain. Still hurt, but like whatever. And there was no, in my mind, like quite literally in my mind, there was no other option. Like you know me, I can be very
Stubborn. A little
okay.
bit. Sometimes.
Okay. I don't think I'm stubborn, but I determined.
I mean, when Naya
That's
Hutchinson has a
another
made up mind, she has a made up mind.
I'm just determined. And
Mhm.
I think that in that situation, I had to be determined. And just to dance in general, like, you have to be determined. Like, you have to fight. And that's exactly what I was doing. There's literally no other option. And that was that. Like, that
Mhm.
was literally my thought process. I was like, get up. There's no other option. Let's go. And that was, I'm not saying that,
No, I mean, I
I
love
think
that.
you need that mindset though. To me, to be a great athlete, you need
Mhm.
that. Like not through, maybe not through, I mean,
No, I mean, you're
through an
right.
injury, yes, but just
Just in
through the
general.
journey,
Right.
yeah, you need that. Like is what like if you don't have that, then like what are we
So
doing?
it's fantastic. And I love that you touched on determination.
Yeah.
So going on from that, can you talk about kind of your determination, your mindset as you went through kind of some ups and downs? I know there were times where there were certain summer programs and stuff, some of them
Mm.
that you got into, some of them that you didn't get into,
Mm.
even going all the way to
You've done
your
your
college
research.
decision. I
I
you
know.
know, some might even say I'm like a fly on the wall, like I've been here. But I mean, going through all of that, and despite the downs, you still had ups and you still were able to have insane, amazing opportunities that I've seen you take advantage of, right? I mean,
Mhm.
your freshman year of college, you had a Carpe Diem sign on your wall, and I feel like you really embodied that.
Oh,
And,
wow.
you know, it for y'all that don't know, Carpe Diem means seize the
Seize
moment.
the oh, I mean seize the day, but
Seize the
yeah.
moment, seize
Seize
the
the
day.
day, you know,
Same difference.
same difference. I
Same
painted that
difference.
with dad.
Right. Going on with that determination, you know, through the auditions, through the
Mhm.
routine, all the way down to the technique and differentiating yourself from the person next to you.
Mhm.
Talk about that for me for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like my um journey was not straightforward for sure. I didn't have like what people would call the traditional ballet body and all of those things. Now I do have a great facility. I have to give myself a
You
shot.
cool, I guess.
But yeah, I had to like, you know, it wasn't just like a straight shoe like, favorite, I got into everything.
Mm,
Like you said, some auditions I got into, some I didn't. ALE summer intensive I never got into, even though I ended up going there for school. I
mhm.
actually think one year that was a mistake because they called me out and said I did really, really well, and somehow I did not get in. I feel like that was a mistake, but
Wow.
it's fine. I didn't get into any of the ALE summer program, and I got into the school. There were a lot of auditions that I didn't get, and some that I did, and I think that you just have to have faith that everything's going to work out, which is hard to do in the moment, but it's just you have to keep going. Like you have to keep going. There are going to be days, of course there were days where I felt like quitting. There were days where I was crying because of certain choreographers. I'm there for the rehearsals for 3 hours and don't get picked for the dances, and that's every single week. There are different instances where it was like, okay, like what are we really doing here? I would say part of it is I love dancing. So there's that. But also I was just so, as we use that word again, determined. And I
Mhm.
knew that I wasn't, honestly, I knew I didn't suck. Like I definitely knew that. I knew something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just determined to continue to work on that something and continue to make myself better and continue to like feel out like what my body wanted to do. And it ended up working out. Even I did Alonzo King lines in 2016. That was, for anyone that's a dancer that's watching this, I highly recommend that summer intensive. It's fantastic, mind changing, mind blowing, all of the above. Um, but yeah, there was some, I did ABT. There were definitely intensives. I did BTH that I really enjoyed, that grew my technique, that grew who I was as an artist. Um, and so I think that I held on to those positive moments. And I also, I just had faith in myself.
Okay, we're back after some
Hey.
technical difficulties. Okay, we're back.
Yeah,
We're
we're
back.
back.
So back into
So I believe that the question was just kind of what was my
mm-hmm.
journey? How did I stay positive throughout? Because dance is hard, as we've established. Most sports are hard, especially the conditioning, the training, the time, the emotions that it takes. Um, like I said, for me, I think I just had to continue to stay positive, look at like the positive things. A lot of that came from, and this isn't, a lot of that came from teachers encouraging me, me continuing to like work on my technique and see myself getting better, um, getting parts in some cases. I think sometimes the thing with dance is like a lot of that reassurance
mm-hmm.
comes externally instead of internally, which that could be a whole episode in itself.
Right.
But yeah, just trying to continue to stay positive, and also like knowing that I was always a student. There was always going to be something for me to explore and how my body wanted to move versus not, exploring new techniques. Just being really excited to work with a lot of fantastic, historic, just phenomenal genius teachers that I got to work with. So yeah, I feel like that's really what kept me positive and kept me going. And yeah, you just have to like keep getting up. Like, I don't know. That's life. As I've learned as an adult, things will happen, and eventually you have to get up, turn that, as you've told me, turn that frown upside down. The core.
I mean, okay, so we've been talking about determination for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
How you had to push through hard moments, how your teachers kind of helped you up through that, how they helped you stay positive, right?
Well, I would stay, my teacher's helping me stay positive. Yes, in some cases,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get a teacher that's encouraging, but I've also had teachers that have been mean and nasty and made me feel like I was like nothing
Mm-hmm.
too. And I think that just like in life, I keep saying that, but you have to look at the positives rather than the negatives. And that's not to dispute like feeling horrible. Like
Right.
sometimes that happens where you just feel horrible, and I would, take my time to sit in those feelings. And yeah, there would be doubts to come up from that. There would be different thoughts, but I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna keep going. Like, I don't know, maybe it was that no other option kind of mindset that I had. Um, but yeah, I was just determined to like keep pushing, keep moving. I had kind of a destination
Mm-hmm.
because, mom and dad have been great about exposing us to the arts. I went to go, the first time I saw Ailey, I was 7 years old. Mom took me, and it was just fantastic, as they always are. And so, I knew, I saw something in myself enough that it was like, okay, I don't suck. I know that I have something here. And so I just have to keep going. Like I just have to keep pushing. And I do think that too, with me dancing for so long, like I danced ever since I could remember too. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like I've done this ever since I remember, you know? And that's not to say I don't love it and things like that. I did try track for,
Tried track for like a week.
yes, but I was very good. Beat,
For a week.
I was very good.
For
It
a
was
week.
more than a week. It was like 3 weeks, but I had dance. So I like missed a lot of the meets.
Did you go to a meet?
See, look, you made me forget what I was saying. But essentially, you know, everything works out. Oh, that's what I was saying. So like I did dance for so long that it was like I did dance for so long that it was like, okay, I'm determined to keep doing this. Like, when you dance for so long and you do it for so long, I think the expectation is like, or not even that. I mean, yes, the expectation is that you'll do it when, as a job, but a lot of people know what they want to do by the time they're like 7 years old. And I was one of those people. So yeah, it was like, what am I going to do? Quit? No.
Right.
Like, that's stupid because some teacher said something dumb. No.
I find it kind of hilarious that you
That,
did track and were good at it and still ended up going to
I
Bullish.
know.
Just
You know
not for
what I
track.
do get? I know Bullis is a very good track team. Very good. They've always been very good. Um, I do get, even now, especially when I come back to Maryland, I always get, do you run track? Are you an athlete? You look like an athlete. Do you run track? I get that all the time. All the time. I'm like, no, I dance. And then they just like look at me because, sometimes you have to clarify what kind of dance. So people don't, and that's fine. You got to do what you got to do. But I'm just saying that it was not that type of dance. So I sometimes clarify. But
Right.
yeah.
So pushing forward through high school, right?
Yes.
Went through a lot, triumphed through a lot. You go to college, transition, right?
Boy, oh boy.
You're going to the second best dance school in the country, only rivaled by Juilliard, right?
I don't guess
And
he's a lot to say about that big Ailey. Yes.
and it's a whole process to get in there. They don't take a whole lot of people. And not only did you end up excelling, but you got a very prestigious scholarship 2 years in a row on the end half of your dance career, at Alien College. Can you talk
Yes.
about that? Talk about the transition. Talk about what that
Yes.
was like for you,
Yes.
college life, mental
About
health
it.
through all of
Oh
that.
my.
Touch on it. Touch on
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna touch on it. So I'll start by saying I was waitlisted into the programs, which I was absolutely devastated by. Like truly, I was in tears. I know I was. But somehow God worked it out, and I ended up getting in. I remember I got in. I got my email. We were headed to. Mom was driving me to the studio to dance at City Dance, and I got it, and I was like, "Oh my God, I got in!" And I started crying, and then I was like, "Should I go?" And she was like, "Yeah."
Should I go?
So, yeah, I just obviously so grateful. That was the place that I wanted to be as my number one choice. And I was so excited to get into, officially I did the Ailey Fordham program. So yeah, get there. I knew I'd be dancing a lot. Even, even my freshman year, I think that when you dance so much, I definitely had little injuries here and there. You're obviously trying to adjust. For those that don't know, Ailey Fordham is in New York City. We are from Maryland. Our dad is from New York, so we're very familiar with going up there. So I wasn't like too unfamiliar, but it's still a new city and it's still New York City. Like that's a lot to go into. I remember thinking that
that's a lot going on in one place.
yeah, it is. I remember thinking that I was gonna like finish, college and I was gonna do my dance career for a little bit and then I was gonna come home. I was like, I don't wanna live here, da da da. Now I live in New York full time and I love it. But yeah, it was definitely an adjustment. Like I said, freshman year, I'll never forget we did first semester you're just getting used to everything. You're a freshman, you're just trying to figure stuff out. Second semester, same thing, but we had West African, and that was the difference. We had West African, Miss Imani Faye. That was my teacher's name. Yep, Miss Imani Faye. Love her to pieces. she was, we were like, oh, this lady
She was hardcore, huh?
yeah, yeah. And it was good though. It would be tough because this particular class I would have on days where I'd have like 3 or 4 other dance classes. So it was at the end of the day, you're tired, all this stuff, but it was fun. I did end up getting a stress fracture in my L5, which is like your lower base spine here, and that sucked. But honestly, I found a good doctor. Um, I actually did perform on that, and I did. Well, I didn't know that I fractured it yet. I had gone to the doctor. We did an MRI on it, and I was waiting for the results. But I had a performance for the West African piece. I wasn't gonna miss it, so I did it, and I had a special part. Okay, hello. And then I wasn't gonna tell my doctor either
that you danced on.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna tell him. And then
so what made you tell him?
Well, I didn't tell him. Dad is on the phone. How was your oh yeah, like your performance? It was so beautiful. And this girl, what performance?
Leave it to Dad.
No, I was like, me and Mom looked at each other because I was like, now why would he say something?
Well, you should have told him. Yeah. You got to inform that man.
Yeah, I was like, I did perform on it. I did miss a showcase, but it didn't really matter because we did the big show before, so it was fine. And that injury came at the tail end of the year, so I had all summer to recover. So ultimately, it was annoying, but it was a non-issue at the end of the day because I could recover. Sophomore year really threw me for a loop because I think coming in, I thought that I should know everything. I had experience freshman year. I knew what was happening. And that's the mentality I came in with. I was like, I should know everything. I have been here for a year. Let's get it on and popping. I know what this is. And I did not. There are definitely new things that came in. Sophomore year, you have the chance to audition for pieces and things like that. There's a lot more leadership eyes on you because you're doing these auditions. We had these things called juries, which are kind of like mini little tests to see if you can get into the next level, all this stuff. And I was not mentally, I think that was tough because I felt like I should know everything, realized that I didn't, and then cried about it for 2 days. And I was like, I shouldn't be crying a second day in a row. I was very much an anti-crier at the time. I was very much I need to suck it up and figure it out and get it together. Which I think sometimes it is a good mentality to have at times, but you got to fill out your emotions or it's just not gonna, it's gonna come out some way somehow. And a lot of times when you just mask them or you don't feel them, then they're gonna come out in a toxic way. And yeah, I was just mentally, it was a lot sophomore year. I just felt like I was very emotional. I was dating this guy that wasn't great. And so that was also not cute. No, we're not even gonna, there is no need to say any names. But it was just not cute. I was a lot of I will say it was a lot of learning. It was growing pains that year for sure. Yeah. Growing pains. I was just trying to figure myself out. I was trying to figure out what kind of stuff I really liked and discovering myself and all of these things. So yeah, it was threw me for a little bit of a doozy. Okay. Mentally and emotionally. I didn't have many injuries though, so that was a plus. I probably did have some minor ones. But yeah, but I got through it and we ended up being okay. Junior year was great, actually. I was in a lot of pieces. I was performing a lot. I was dancing. I felt like I was this artist that, knew exactly what I felt, and like I knew my body and I knew all the things
Right.
that were going on. I felt like myself. I felt like I was getting into like really who I was supposed to be as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And also at the tail end of my sophomore year, I found out, as you mentioned, the scholarship that I got, that I was going to be the Denise, you mentioned, the scholarship that I got. I was going to be the Denise Jefferson Scholar for my junior year. Every year, one junior gets the scholarship, and I got it. And I was just obviously overwhelmed with emotion and, you know, all of these things and just excited. And, you know, I was really, yeah, I was just really
You're
in
pumped.
it. I was pumped.
Pumped up.
I was pumped up. I was feeling it. I was in dances that I liked. I was doing stuff that I liked. You know, I just felt good. I will say, preparing for the Denise Jefferson scholarship performance, the benefit
Mm-hmm.
performance, was rough. That was definitely a little rough, but I was like, you know what? We're going to make it. You know, I'm so proud of myself. Like, I'm going to do this. And then the pandemic happened, right? Basically, the day before my performance, the pandemic hit. Well, not the day before. It hit a little bit. It basically hit in that week.
Right.
And to put it in perspective, as I was preparing for my performance, which actually ended up turning into a dress rehearsal, there was a lot of drama around that. So the performance was canceled. Um, and I was preparing for this dress rehearsal, and people were like walking out with their suitcases. Thought we were going to come back 2 weeks later. Obviously, we didn't. And so I feel like that was rough. That was a rough one. Yes, that was truly a low.
Yeah.
um, yeah.
And
I
I mean, COVID was tough for everybody.
right, right.
So, and
Yeah.
you having been in New York, being kind of like a hotspot, and just
Mhm.
being ultra, you know, hands on deck. I know that was a lot to come at you just at one time.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot to come at me. I really was looking forward to this performance a lot because I felt like I had done the work, I earned it. Like I had said previously in this interview, like I wasn't there was no straight like shot for me to me. There was no like, oh, okay, you're good, you get it, this. Like I feel like I just like it wasn't just a straight journey, and so I was
Mm-hmm.
really proud of myself that I got that scholarship and that leadership saw that I could like really be something. And yeah, and then it didn't happen. You guys saw my
Right.
little dress rehearsal performance, which, by the way, that was the hardest ever in my life.
And
My
there was
heart was,
nobody there in
no, I
person.
know. I
It's
mean,
crazy.
you could just do something else. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean?
It's like nobody's gonna know unless you let them know.
Right, right. And I think there's just a lot. It was very overwhelming for me. And I did the performance and I wasn't happy with it, which sucked a lot. There was so much going on. And I remember I had to like go, I went into the dressing room because I also have to say a speech after this. I was supposed to give this speech at this like soiree because it's a benefit. So it has a little soiree before. And I wasn't able to because the performance didn't happen. So I said it at the end of the performance. And I remember going back to the dressing room and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I just said affirmations to myself because I was
Pull
feeling that.
yourself together.
No, literally. I was saying affirmations to myself because I felt horrible. Like I felt like that was the worst I ever danced ever.
Mm-hmm.
There was just so much going on. And I was like, I have to pull myself together for the speech. And that I did. Okay. I did that. I really did.
Hey, you
But
did it.
it was tough. Coming home, obviously an adjustment for everybody. I definitely saw a sports psychologist as a result of that experience, just that single-handed experience, because it messed me up quite a bit. And I just had a lot of anxiety. You know, a lot of people had a lot of anxiety during COVID, and I hated dance at that time. I
Mm.
really did. Because one, we were dancing in our friggin' basement. I was dancing in the basement, which I'm very grateful for that, my parents got me a little ballet bar set up and some Marley. I was just so grateful for that. And it wasn't that. It was just like, I am dancing on Zoom. Like, this is not,
It's not the
obviously,
same.
it's not the same. It just didn't. And I was just dealing with a lot mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel like dancing. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to do this. So yeah, that was definitely tough to have to deal with.
And then came the toe.
Yes. So,
Wait.
oh,
Let me do my thing.
oh, okay. Yeah. So the
So,
pandemic happened and it was tough. It was tough.
so right, pandemic happens. First off, pandemic happens. Me and you were both at home for a long period of time for the first time years.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to leave me home with our parents,
You'll
but it's
never let
fine.
me forget
Ever.
having to go to college. God forbid a girl wants to go to college. Okay.
But right, so that happens. We're both home. One day you're doing, I guess, a project. It was for school.
No. I was doing a summer intensive,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in a dance with a friend actually,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to do these.
Recordings.
Yeah, we had to record obviously because it's COVID, and so Lewis was recording me.
So I'm recording. We're in the backyard, and one thing about our backyard is it gets very lumpy very quickly, very easily. So the ground can kind of end up tending to be a bit uneven, right? So
Which I'll say this: I had been dancing in that backyard like the entire summer,
right.
and had been fine.
So she's dancing, finishes the dance, mind y'all. Okay, she finishes the dance. Finish the dance. We're walking over back to go back in the house. All I know is I turn around, like I heard like a thump or you said something or whatever the case may be, and you're just like sitting down on the ground and it's very clear pain, right? I guess you tripped over something. I'm thinking you just stubbed your toe.
No, what happened was I did finish the dance. And then I was like, oh, I want to record because we were supposed to be like kind of fake falling, like doing a little like this situation and catching ourselves. And I remember I was like, I just want to get that part one more time so that it's like, good enough for the dance. And we got it one more time. And that's when I fell in the divot of the grass. I literally fell and this is a better kind of angle, but I fell and like slid, but when I was sliding, all my weight was on my big toe, and then I fell to the ground. So literally, is my right foot, all my weight just fell onto that toe, and I freaking broke my oh my god,
sesamoid bone.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke my sesamoid bone, which I did not know at the time. Lou, I was on the ground. Obviously, you turned around. I was in pain. And I didn't want to tell my parents because I was like, it's fine. Like, I'm really fine. It's just a little boo-boo, whatever.
Right.
But like, I was borderline basically tears and like could not walk. Like, did you carry me into the
I
house?
carried
You
you.
carried me like
I
all
carried
like
you to the
to
mud room.
yeah. He carried me to the mud room, and then I was like, I can walk from here because
Right.
I didn't want to like my
And
parents
thank
to
goodness the
know.
mudroom door was closed.
Yeah.
Cause so mudroom is like right from our garage. I carry you all the way into the mudroom, literally place you down on the floor like as gently as I can. And then we kind of just go and walk in the house like nothing happened. And I just remember like you hobbling up the stairs. In that moment, what was running through your mind? Like what's going on as time goes on, as you start to realize this is something more serious? What's going
Definitely cursing. Yeah. Beep. That's what's happening. Like, darn. Like, this is, yeah, this is some real serious stuff. Like, I'm like, okay. Mind you guys know I've sprained the ankle before. Like, I've done all, it's nothing to worry about. Literally, they, if I need to go to the doctor, I will. And whatever. So I think I might have iced it that night, and I think by the next day I had to tell mom and dad. I could not walk. Like it was
Right.
swollen. I couldn't walk. We went to the doctor and they told me, oh, stay off of it for 4 to 6 weeks. It's like bad sprain, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever, because y'all always tell me stay off of it for 4 to 6 weeks and I'm fine. Mind you, I have also sprained my ankle another time. I don't think you knew this, but when I went to a summer intensive, when I
Of
did
course, I didn't know
EMEA,
it.
I sprained my ankle again, the same ankle. It's always, everything is on the same foot. Um, I sprained the same ankle again and I couldn't walk. But then I ice bathed it like religiously for like 24 hours,
Hmm.
48 hours. And the guys, I wasn't walking. The guys were like carrying me to my room and stuff. Because I mean, at email was very intense. It was very you dancing all the time, all the time, all the time. And I was like, you're auditioning for pieces every week, you're performing them every week. And I was like, okay, well, F this, like, I gotta get, sorry, mom, but I gotta get better. I was like, I gotta get better. And I did actually. That ice bath worked miracles. And by like, I performed on it. I had a little brace. That same weekend, I was good. Like I was good. So
Mm.
I was thinking like, oh, it's nothing like a sprained toe. It's not in my ankle, it's my toe, whatever. I modified on it until the end of that summer intensive. And then I had like 4 weeks actually that I had off. So I was like, oh, I'll be like, I had a month. I was like, oh, I'll be fine because I've had, I have the month before I go back to school. And, it still hurts here and there, whatever. I go back to school. I'm like, okay, it shouldn't be too bad. It does hurt a lot to the point where I go back to the doctor that saw me for my back. They did an MRI on my foot and either MRI, X-ray, something. And I'm thinking this is a sprain. They've never, I got an X-ray before when I first injured it, and they said it wasn't broken or anything.
Hmm.
They call me. I remember I'm sitting in my bed. They call me at school, and they're like, "You have a fractured sesamoid bone, and you're gonna be out for at least 6 to 8 weeks," which is like my full senior year, or no, my full first semester senior year
Hmm.
is out the window, gone. I'm not gonna be dancing at all. And that was when it all started crashing down, to be honest. Literally.
Like
Obviously
literally.
that is devastating
Yeah.
to be at, and they tell you when you have to go on medical leave at, well, at Ailey, I know, but I don't know for other schools, but a lot of times they encourage you not to come in. Like you would think, oh, okay, you just sit in the front of the class, you take notes. They actually encourage you not to come in for your mental health because
Hmm.
it's sad to be seeing people dancing and then you just can't do anything, especially for 6 to 8 weeks. Like that doesn't really make any sense to be doing that. So I literally was in a boot. I was not going to dance class. I was going to my regular classes. I was getting a double major at the time. And even if I wasn't double majoring, we still had dance academics and regular academics that we had to fulfill. So I was doing that in my boot, in my room all the time, pretty much, because where else am I supposed to go? I'm New York City. I'm like, you're walking everywhere. I can't really walk everywhere. And so, yeah, it was just a sad time. Um, our great grandmother had passed away as well, like around the time that had happened or right before something. That was mentally difficult. I think I was still also dealing with the fact that like everybody was dying from COVID, which was a lot. Um, yeah, it was just a lot of like grief. I feel like
Hmm.
I was just dealing with a lot of grief and like I really wasn't seeing the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm trying to figure out how I can get my toe better. First, I need to rest it, and then I'm being told, okay, I can get a PRP shot, which is basically where they draw your blood, spin it, and put the plasma in your hurt area to help rejuvenate it and help it heal. Those only worked for but so long. It was just a lot of like grief. That's really the way I would describe that time. And then at the same time, like in those few months that was happening, that was like September, October, when I found out that I was done for that first semester, you injured your injury is way worse than mine. You injured it was a way worse than mine. He injured his you injured your
I had an open
open
compound fracture of my
yeah.
radius and ulnar bones.
Yep.
To put that in the layman's terms, I snapped my arm in half, and yeah, that had its own, I think, trauma that came with it for me and
Yeah.
for y'all.
Somebody needs to interview you.
Hey, no, that is a
But
bad
no, it
thing.
was ooh, Lord, it was traumatic to say
Hmm.
the least. It was very traumatic to find out mom and dad are calling me. So I'm like, just, and to be so far away from you too just sucks because it was like none of us were there.
Right. I mean, mom
And
and dad were what, 18 hours, something like that.
yeah, I mean, because you're in Florida at the time,
Hmm.
I was in New York. Mom and dad were in Maryland, so they're we're trying to coordinate with the doctor. We're trying to coordinate with the person that was with you
Hmm.
while mom and dad are on the plane. Like I'm on a call with the lady telling her what we wanted to do. You're like completely out of it. Like it was just the most actually traumatic experience. It was horrible. It was horrible. And
Yeah.
I felt so bad that I obviously couldn't be there. Also, COVID, like we couldn't really travel to different states at the time too. And I just wanted to make sure that you were okay. I was obviously, I mean, at the time I wasn't thinking about my own injuries or trauma and stuff, but we came back that like holiday
Hmm.
time and both of us were injured. Lou had a cast on his arm. I had a boot. It was just sad. Like it was
Yeah.
just
There
that
was a lot
time
going
was
on.
just sad. Everything was sad. Like I feel like it was obviously you have faith in things are gonna get better, but that was definitely I feel like a pretty dark time because it was hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel and like it was just a lot of trauma, like
Yeah.
truly.
So going through all of that, right? Um, being one of those people in it, um, how did your support system help you get through it? Right?
Mm.
Whether it been just talking, being there for you, listening, whatever the case may be, how did your support system help you get through it? And were there any points where, we as a family, your village, friends, whatever the case may be, was there ever a point where you felt like we dropped the ball?
I don't feel like there's a point where you guys dropped the ball. I feel like, well, one, I'm not even going to consider you dropping any type of ball. You're dealing with your own traumas and all. And I think mom and dad did everything that they could do. Like,
Hmm.
I did have to stay at school because I had to take my classes. And honestly, I probably would have been more sad being home. Um, and yeah, they just did all that they could. We talked about doctor's appointments. They helped me with those. Even I remember there's one doctor's appointment, my first PRP shot that I had to get. Mom and dad or mom couldn't come up, so we had her sister's daughter took
Hmm.
me to the appointment, and her
I was,
mom's
I
sister
was about to lose it.
mom's sister's daughter ended up taking me to the appointment and she actually couldn't come to the actual appointment with me. She drove me, but she couldn't
Hmm.
go in because of COVID. And yeah, but I think that, my support system did everything that they could do to support me at the time. And, even afterwards, they continued to support me. Second semester came, I was still injured. I was injured my entire senior year and counting, like, and post senior year. I strained my hamstring on the same leg doing my senior piece actually that Tyler, our cousin, was recording.
Hmm.
And that was a whole annoying mess too. Like I couldn't actually perform a full class of any type.
That was a beautiful piece, though.
It was really
It
good.
was
I
amazing.
really ate with that one.
You did.
I ate with that
And
one.
the scenery and everything, like,
Yeah.
you chose that out?
Yeah. Yeah. I ate with the whole situation. I got
Okay.
out I
You got a
got
little
costume
creative.
changes. Yeah.
So
So it was good, but it
you
was a journey. It was a
Mhm.
journey. And I think just to answer your question, I feel like, you guys did everything that you could. You supported me in every way that you could. I think that year was just tough in general as a
Mhm.
family. And luckily we have, our faith. but we also have each other and we're also strong individually. So yeah, I think it was definitely a challenging time, but you guys showed up in every way that you could, and I really appreciate you guys for that. That's what family is all about. So, love you.
Love you too. Expounding a little bit on your faith, how did that play a part in your recovery and just getting you through all of it? Because,
Honestly,
I
oh,
mean, well, I was going to say for me,
yeah,
right, my faith during and after has played such a huge part.
yeah.
Um, Without Jesus, we wouldn't be here in the first place. But even without him, we, I feel like I wouldn't have gotten through
Oh
all that I
yeah.
went through.
Like you
So,
can't at that point you just can't lean on your own understanding because you just feel like you have nothing. Like
hmm
so it definitely helped me to just believe in something outside of myself and know that he was with me. He was watching after me and I wasn't by myself, especially like around the time where I had to be in my dorm room by myself a lot of the
hmm
time and I wasn't going to dance classes and stuff like that. I think that my faith definitely helped me get through those times where I wasn't feeling great at all. Like, you can't you don't have the capacity in a lot of ways to lean on your own mental, and I think that's why your faith is so important. That's why your support system is so important because, you know, I mean, you need your faith even when you are going through a good time, like, right? So when you're going through such a hard time, I think for me um it was definitely a necessity and it helped me get to where I am today.
so going back through everything, right? Going back through all the injuries, all the trials, all the tribulations to now you're in a situation, you're in a place, whether it be because of your toe injury or just personal decision, right? You've moved on from dance, but there's so many other things that there's so many other things that you're doing that you're successful in that you're really just starting in and building and growing even more and more every single day. How did your triumphs, your tribulations, um, and really just your adversity as a whole, how did those contribute to where you are now and kind of just navigating, the world that you're currently in?
That's a really good question. I think that dance has definitely made me who I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's given me my work ethic. It's given me the ability to like make connections with people,
Mm-hmm.
maybe people that aren't like me. Um, it's given me the ability to just be open and loving and accepting as well. Um, and it's given me the ability to have a voice, which I think is really important for the youth, for just for black people. Like it's just really important. And so I feel like it's given me like it's holding me up, it's giving me, it's like my foundation,
Mm-hmm.
because it quite literally is. Um,
Right.
my decision to stop dancing was a result of honestly, I was really burnt out. And I'm not saying you should stop dancing because you're burnt out. You definitely need a break when you're burnt out, but I knew I've always been the type of person and dancer that I always had other passions as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was very committed to dance, extremely so, but I had other passions, other things that I liked. I always said that, we're human first, not dancer first. And that's so true. It'll improve everything in your life. It'll improve your dancing, having that mindset. And yeah, so I was injured. The pandemic had happened. We were kind of coming out of it. I finally found a cure for my injury, but overall, I know that if I'd be dancing every day, I would be every day and
Mm-hmm.
not just like the regular dancer hurt. I would truly be in pain every day with my toe, even though I found pretty much a cure, shockwave therapy, if you need it. But I kind of knew that that's not necessarily where I wanted to head, and so it was definitely a transition. Got my master's in public media, strategic communications. And so that kind of led to, I worked at Ailey as a social media coordinator for a while. And then that led to me doing, it's kind of glitching.
It's
You
fine.
see
Keep
that?
going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're good.
Then that led to me doing influencer marketing, which is what I'm doing now. And I really, really like it a lot. I do feel like I have a voice. I feel like, you know, I am very strategic in the way that I think. I'm able to um, just be like a wonderful woman of society. Like, I don't know, it's just a great thing to be able to like be creative in my job and do something that I'm passionate about. And also, like I said, be able to be strategic in that. I think being strategic is one of the biggest assets that you can have in life for your own personal brand, but also just like as an employee, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, and also I'm modeling. That took me a minute to start modeling, but I finally did it and I'm really enjoying it. Um, it's just allowed me to be creative in a slightly different way, but also in the same way. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've done Kylie Cosmetics, Steve Madden, Aerie, so a lot of fun brands that I've gotten to work with and a lot that I'm looking forward to working with as well. And so yeah, I'm just blessed and excited that dance led me to where I am now. I look back in my life and I don't think like I'm not ashamed of, oh, like I think when I was thinking about dancing, not dancing, that I would, it's like you put all this work for what, I can be blunt in that way, similar
Mm.
to, I'm like, I put all this work in for what, just to quit? And I don't see it that way. I think it was actually the perfect transition. And I will say that last year I had the opportunity to perform at the same benefit concert that was taken away by COVID from me. And that was one of the most healing things that I could have ever done for myself. And, I hadn't danced in like a year and change. And I was super nervous when our school director, one of the Ailey school directors, asked me to do it, but I just went with it. I had faith and I just did it. And it was the most beautiful piece made by an Ailey BFA senior. And I actually cried after the performance, which never happens. We all know I'm anti-cry in the dance world. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. But I had like I literally got off stage and was like bawling, crying. And you don't know how much what this means to me, because it meant the absolute world. All my friends came and saw the performance. My parents came, and Lou wasn't able to come, but it's okay. Still love you. But it was just the most fantastic like closure to me to my dance career. And yeah, I think that's part of the reason too why I feel so like content about it, is because I had that moment. And like, when do you ever get to rewrite history like that, like
Yeah.
that's very rare. And so the fact that I got that opportunity was God, and I took it and just had faith, even though I was like, I don't know if I could kick the leg up that high. Baby, after a week I kicked the leg up that high. Okay, so we did what we needed to do, and I was just so proud of myself, and it came at the perfect time. And yeah, I just feel so happy and content with what I have been able to achieve in dance, and now what I've been able to achieve post dance. So yeah.
So now, here, as we get ready to come to a close, what would, how I say this, what would you say for you it means to be uncontainable?
Hmm. I would say that being uncontainable means that you are inevitably, I would say, being uncontainable means that you are undoubtedly, inevitably yourself.
Hmm.
And I think that once you have like true belief in yourself and you have true confidence in yourself,
Hmm.
nothing can stop you. And I think that's why like faith is important because it allows you to be confident in God who made you, therefore you're confident in yourself.
Hmm.
And experiences are important in life because it allows you to understand like, hey, I got through that, I can get through this too, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what life does. It may not be fun, it may be hard, it may be frustrating, but it's going to build you up and it's going to build your confidence up. And yeah, being uncontainable means you're undoubtedly just yourself. And shoot, you're nobody else, so you might as well just be undoubtedly yourself.
Yeah.
And then that's that. Yeah.
Well, this has been Uncontainable by Lou Hutchinson. Naya, thank you so much for hopping on the
Yay!
podcast with
Of
me.
course. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more.
Bye.